you guys doing? I have a pretty simple question. So the pilot episode, all edited and cut, took about 2 hours. Pretty long episode. How long did that take to film, all in all?
I think it was like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was 3 weeks because it was a pilot, so they gave us a little extra time.
Yeah.
To make it. Yeah.
And then they aired it out of sequence as not.
Yeah, and then they aired it last.
Can we just get a boo for Fox?
Boo.
1, 2, 3. Felt good, didn't it?
I was curious when they asked me about Firefly in interviews. I just recently did a press jumping for Suits, and Firefly comes up and said, "Oh, often does," and I never ever pass up the opportunity to say, "Shame on Fox."
Breathe a sigh of relief that it wasn't when you canceled immediately. Was there... It's been canceled. It hasn't been aired yet. Was there a... There had to have been a moment on the set where you realized Fox wasn't going to support the show. They were probably going to cancel it at any moment. Was there like this one defining bit where you guys had grown together as a cohesive unit, you got your rhythm creatively and on set, and then you know that that's probably going to be the last bits that you film for the show. Was there a moment like that for you guys on set?
It was always, you know, I think it added to the experience that we were under, you know, they were treating us poorly. We were taken off the air, put on the air, taken off the air. We were preempted for baseball, and then they like put on a Adam Sandler movie that's like early in his career, like, let's just run that instead. Yeah, Out of Order and all of that. So we were always, it brought us together because it really felt like what the show was. It was a bunch of people who loved their ship and were holding on to that. And there was an evil alliance out there. And we always had that feeling. And I think we were fighting till the end. I mean, we were always had hope.
I just remember it was the death of 1,000 cuts. It was, you know, they picked us up for 9, and then we were halfway through 8, and then they gave us, they said, "Oh, we're gonna do 3 more."
Right.
And they ordered 5 scripts, but ordered 3 episodes. and then we were halfway through 11, I think, when they decided to like, "Oh, well, let's do 2 more." And it just kept like, what is going on? And I couldn't figure out if they were really trying to give us a chance, or if they were just doing the numbers. Like, as when we sell this as a package overseas, what makes more sense, 15 or 13 or 16? And they just kept, you know, we were sitting there going, come on, and just hoping that one night that they didn't preempt us, that our ratings would just shoot up. And but that never actually happened, because by that time, the few fans that we had made couldn't find us. They didn't know if we were going to show up or not show up.
My folks couldn't find us. Yeah. Many are tuned in.
It was insane. But then the acts fell, and it was Merry Christmas, you're canceled. It was in December. It was just before we were scheduled to break for the holidays.
And then Joss, when we were canceled, we had this, the party that was going to be our Christmas party became our cancellation. Merry. And Joss gave a speech. He was like, "I just want you all to know that I am not done fighting for this, and whether or not I am making Firefly etchings, that's how we get this out. I'm not done with the story, and I'm still going to keep fighting." And I remember thinking, "Oh, that's sad." That is, I don't know that seems really hard. I don't know, because we had already talked about all the different networks, Sci-Fi at that time.
there disbelief on your end when you got the phone call? It's greenlit, we're going, it's Universal, here we go. Was there a little disbelief on your end? It's like, well, what are they going to do to undermine this bit?
I just hope I can get into those pants again.
But not again.
Years.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
You guys are awesome. Alan, I got a quick question for you. Do you remember a little group that you used to be a part of back in the day, at the very beginning? Over here in the center. No, the center. You used to be part of an improv troupe called Rubber Chicken.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
As an improv person, you know, did it give you a good start or a good head into getting?
Are you supposed to PG-13 thing for this one?
Let's start.
Yeah, well, that's typical me. Okay, here we go. Anyway, do you think that having improv as your background was a help into getting into the film industry and doing things like that? Or do you think it really was more your stage?
No, it was great. I don't believe I would have gotten into Juilliard. I don't know if I would have or not. But without it, improvisation is, I mean, it's huge. It was always a big part of acting and a big part of the process to get to where you're going. But now, especially in comedies, you can't audition for, I mean, it depends, but I don't get jobs unless I improv. Unless, like, I'll have the script and then I'll usually have like a few lines in mind that I'm walking through. If it's something that I'm like, you'll do it once, they'll go, okay, could you just, you know, feel loose with it, and like, give us something, and that's when you do your stuff.
How much of your character in 28 Days was based off of improv? Because it couldn't have been written that way.
No, actually,
Really?
he was written as a gay German character. Now, when I did it again in Transformers, same guy, absolutely the same guy. That's just part of his history. So, did a show at the Public, and then went into the military service. Was very good. Became part of Agent Simmons' group, whatever the hell that was, and then killed too many people and had a mental breakdown. And he started working as his personal assistant. But in that one, it was like the lines were, I just had to say something about, he says, that's what I have today. It was like, you have a book signing at 1, and you have lunch at 3:30. I have the restaurant for you. You have meeting with Hugo Chavez, and then the evening off. And like, that was the line. And I did it, and I'm like, okay, could you just do it? And since it was like a list, I could do anything I wanted, you know. First you had a book signing, and then you have a lunch with Hugo Chavez. He insisted on Applebee's. I know how you feel about this, but we had the whole back room to ourselves. And he's such an interesting man, Hugo. What does he look like? Anyway, and then you've got an interview with Larry King. Oh, I think he's dead, actually. Check if this is correct. The last time I saw him, he was very melted candle. Up there in the wax museum for sure. So let's see that. Yeah, just anything you want to say. So, and then I got the job. Just because of that, I got the job. And if you watch the movie, that scene is not, it's quick, it's done over the shoulder, it's done like, what do you have? You have this, you have this, you have this, and we're walking and it's done. But without all of that, that's how I got the job.
So remember, kids, if you get the chance to do the improv classes, it's very good.
Yeah.
Right here.
Hello.
And I learned everything from a guy named Sean Petrello, I should say, because he was the guy from Chicken, sorry.
I had a question about the comics. There was one that came out 2 years ago about Wash. It was called Float Out, and it was written by Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
And for anyone who hasn't read it, spoiler alert, you might want to cover your ears for this. But
I don't know. I
thought about that, or like what you think maybe would have happened. I don't know. I just wanted to ask about that.
Well, I think it's great. We talked about it a little bit because right towards the end of this season, our characters were discussing.
Heartful, yes.
Right. She was heartful. She was saying she wanted a baby, and then we actually started getting like bickering kind of. I mean, because I said, well, if you are pregnant, you're not going out with Mal on anything, and your head was, yes, I am. And you can't go. There's no way you're gonna go out there and like people are shooting at you while you're carrying the baby. It's ridiculous.
I had so many fantasy scenarios. I'm so glad I have to find this comic.
Tell us about some of them.
Well, I have to say, right? While we were shooting the series, I got married, and like for real. And I told Johnson, I'm getting knocked up, so get used to it. You know, you can write it in or you cannot write it in, but I have plans. You know, I want to start a family, and part of that was also because we had formed such this fantastic family on the set, and I thought, what a great place to be with child, to have a family with this family. I mean, of the entire crew, makeup and hair, and I mean, just everywhere. And then we shot Serenity and Wash. Wash, they film a man. And I often thought, and I've said this before, whenever asked, where do you think Zoe is? How do you think that story would continue? And I always say, I was pregnant in that movie. I was pregnant, and I was pregnant with Wash's child, and that's what and I'm so glad that that's what somebody picked up on, because I do think that somewhere there is this beige curly hair.
We named it beige.
Curly red hair. Running around the verse. But I mean, part of it is, I thought this through, like he'd go missing and he'd be in Jane's bunk, and Jane would be teaching him about guns, and Zoe and Jane would argue about who's going to